Hello and welcome to the island of Cat Butte. Thank you for joining me on my very first Cat Butte tour here on the Crossing Minute channel. Today I'm taking you around the island and discussing a little bit of why I'm doing this tour in the first place. So we start dumped out here on the boardwalk. This is my town entrance. This is it. There's no giant waterfalls, no rivers with bridges over them or anything fancy like that. You just get put out onto one of the main roads, the main stretches of road here in town, what I call the boardwalk. And resident services is very close to the airport, so, if I were ever to redo this would be quite a challenge. And that is the reason, by the way, I wanted to give this tour, because I'm thinking it's about time to start fresh here on the island. I've had this layout for some time, and I've just been looking for a good, clean-ish slate. Now, does that mean I'm flattening the whole thing? Probably not, but I think this will be the closest I get to flattening the entire island and starting clean. So I wanted to just admire some of my favorite spots. One of them being this little park here, this little corner park. I made this one day, just kind of felt like I needed something on this corner. And I had some extra furniture I'd crafted a while back, so I put all this together, threw some fruit trees behind it. And a couple simple waterfalls, and that was it. It's, for as minimalistic as it is, a really cool little spot. I really do like it. One thing to note about Cat Butte is the beaches are pretty clean, which if I do decide to, Zucker's thinking of leaving, if I do decide to flatten the island, I'll have plenty of room to place down all the houses once I offload these recipes anyway. Now with the resident services building, I decided to put a moat around the entire thing, of course, other than the back where I've put a big water feature. The moat was cool, but it cost me 3 bridges. And that made creating a lot of the other spots on my island a bit more challenging, because I actually wanted to utilize more bridges around the island and was not able to by the time I was done with this project, because I used all 8 bridges now, which is a shame. But I do like the way it turned out. Of course, it looks really good on the flyover, and I don't know how much of it will survive a renovation, but it was at the very least fun while it lasted. Let's come over to Nook's Cranny, where I've given them a gas station, just a cool little industrial-looking spot here, and it kind of comes up to this river, which I've kind of created kind of a canal, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then the Café, which is nice, but one of my regrets with it was putting these stalls on the side, kind of settling for that. It just wasn't a very big area. I wanted the stalls to be back in this corner where you could actually see them from the front, and I wasn't able to do that. So I thought they looked good enough on the side, but with more space in the future, I would like to make this cafe again and make it so you can actually see the cappuccino machine and the little plants and decorations I've put on display. Just one of the many things I would like to do. So again, you see this canal. I have 3 different bridges spanning over this river. And this was because I really saw and got envious of a lot of canal streets people were making out there on Reddit and Instagram. And I was already deep into the development of this map, and decided, well, I won't be able to have a proper canal street now, but at least I can get close, and this was my solution to that. So I think it turned out really nice. I love the flowers kind of flanking either side, and it also leads us into our first of 2 neighborhoods here. This neighborhood, the houses are a bit more spread out, and while they don't really have good yards, they all can share this nice big park. This is my crafting area here on the island, the outdoor crafting area, and it backs up to this really nice park with a couple of ponds. We got some cherry blossoms in bloom right now, which look great. These flowers aren't normally here, but I'm kind of out of space for a big flower garden, so I've started to grow some orange cosmos there. And if I do decide to level things out, I'm going to be sad to see this part go. It was my first time experimenting with this cool little path that I got from online, and I just think everything turned out really, really cool over here. But again, anything that gets removed is going to just be simply improved on, so let's not fret. Over here is a little seating area. I just had this empty space behind Raymond's house and thought, I gotta do something back here. So I made like a little reading area. It gave me an excuse to put down the telephone booth, which was cool. We have Elvis right here hanging out. He's got a little spot behind his house, so we threw some cherry blossoms behind it. And then we have Kiki and Ribot, who share a little yard in between both their houses. I think it looks okay. I wish it was like maybe 2 or even 3 blocks wider, so I could have put even more decorations between the 2 houses. So who knows, maybe in the future that'll change. I have been successful getting orange cosmos, by the way, so I've created a spot to place them for now. Monty's house, and Monty probably has the biggest area to himself because I didn't know what to do in this spot. I threw some cherry trees here, and this is kind of part of his yard. If he wants to, I wouldn't mind if he decided to have some cherries, have a snack. Totally cool. I did a video, a short, on this little park here, whatever you want to call it, just a little monument to this fake statue that I have, which I thought looked really cool. And it all backs up to this awesome tropical-looking mountain with waterfalls and this big statue here. I love this spot, and it brings us to the museum entrance. The museum prompted my very first massive renovation of the island, so I'm really proud of this spot. It has your big fountain and seating area here, and then up here, let me just ignore these weeds. Up here we have 4 different staircases. I think I maxed out staircases, or maybe I have one more I can put, but I've decided to do kind of a symmetrical thing with the 4 staircases, and we have the tiered museum entrance. And one thing I never really figured out was what to do with all the space in front of the museum. So I've been putting different statues and things out here, but I still think in the future it could look better, and I may have a big grand museum entrance in the future, but it might not be as grand, so I can better utilize the space and put the same things down, but have them not look so spread out and awkward. So I guess stay tuned for that. We have, of course, I had to put some money trees somewhere, so I've surrounded those money trees back there with gold roses. We have our dinosaur, and then I was really excited when I finally had enough materials to make the giant metal robot, so I threw him on the other side with more money trees and stuff like that. And then I have my rock garden, which is functional in that I don't have to dig holes to hit rocks, unless it's this rock, of course. Or I could just use this one as a, backstop. But they're so close together that I have to hit the rocks, pick up all the rocks, or all the things it drops, and then go to the next rock. It's kind of tedious. I want a bigger rock garden, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm kind of nervous about having to redo my rock garden, but that's where I'm at right now. I need a project, and unfortunately, the whole island is probably going to be that project. If we come down here, I've just started decorating up on the cliffs a little bit, just to give these cliffs a little more character. And then we get to, I guess, what is the crown jewel of the whole island, which is this big lake. I saw a few people actually put out big lakes and put photos out there on the internet, which they should never do because it causes people like me to copy them. So I made a giant lake, and I think it looks pretty awesome. But as you can see on the map, it eats up a ton of space, just a massive amount of space. So the lake in the future is something I'm probably not going to do. It was cool while it lasted, but it's now probably going to become a neighborhood, to be perfectly honest. Let's run back, though. I can show you some of the features here. We have this waterfall kind of in the corner, which I really like. We have the entrance to the secret beach, which I think looks really cool, and I wanted to go for sort of a jungle vibe back here, and I think it worked out pretty well. I like to hide the little models we get from CJ and Flick whenever I can, which is cool too. And then just around the lake, some various decorations. Let's pop up here, though. Oh, well, I didn't even show you over here. These are the 2 houses. Myself and Mojo live here, and we share this yard in the middle with a little Zen garden, which I think looks awesome. And we were sure to decorate with lots and lots and lots of blue roses, because the blue roses were a big achievement here on the island. So I'm pretty excited about those. Before we go to the other neighborhood, though, let's run up here. And this is kind of where the campsite starts. There's a little ice cream area. So if you've been camping and fishing all day and you need a cool treat, you can come here and get yourself some cool treats. And up here is just kind of some decorations, just to give it more of a naturey vibe. I guess there's kind of a fairy theme going on up there with the mushrooms. And then across the bridge is the actual campsite. Now, I gave this campsite a little more room than I had intended when I started the renovation. So this was all the furniture I really intended to place, and it's so spread out that I'm kind of looking forward to redoing this too, because I don't think the campsite should be this big. I think I could have used the space better. I do like it. I think it looks cool, but just a lot of stuff spread out. This is kind of a Peninsula nightclub is what I call this. And this is the only beach I decorated, by the way. Just kind of, if you need to get away from the nightlife, you can come over here and relax. But you can pop up here, and the party is always going nonstop. We have a bar with drinks. We have a stage for live performances, and the bartender hangs out back here serving drinks all night. And we have a little VIP area way out here on the ocean as well. And I think it looks awesome. So That is the Peninsula nightclub. That was a recent project. It was a lot of fun. We'll head down now to the other neighborhood here in town where the yards have a little more character. Pearl has a bunch of DIYs next to her place, so she kind of didn't luck out there. But Zucker has an entire pumpkin farm to himself, which I think came out really nice. And I just kind of put some little farm-style decorations nearby. And then I gave Dom and Cat a big shared area. There's not usually this umbrella here, excuse me. They have, you know, a place to dry their clothes. They have a couple cherry trees. And then I used this little seating area that actually faces the road as part of their walls, kind of sectioning off their backyard from the rest of the neighborhood. And then they have a shared front yard as well, which I think came out really nice. I really do like the vibe of their two houses together like this. And then when we come back down here, we get back to our corner park I was showing you a little while ago. One spot here I don't want to forget about is right behind Nook's Cranny, and that is the Able Sisters. I've put them up here on this cliff, and very recently, actually, I decorated this whole area just to give it some sort of a crafty kind of vibe. I think it came out really nice. And they just have a couple little cliffs behind them. I think it looks very homey, very awesome. I love the way it turned out. And then over here, Rosie has a place all to herself, probably the nicest place, the nicest bit of real estate on the entire island. A great view, a whole river and fountain and everything. I went all out for Rosie over here. This certainly isn't the first time I've considered redoing my island. In fact, it was kind of complete at one point, and then I ended up moving everybody's house and redoing it, and I didn't have the YouTube channel up at that time, so I never really got to document that island, and I wish I did. So that is why I've taken you on this tour today. It's mostly a video for me, but I wanted to show you guys anyway. The dream address is in the description, and for at least a time, it will still be the island kind of as you see it today. In fact, before I finish and start editing today, I'll probably update that. But yeah, I hope you do visit. I hope you enjoy, and let me know in the comments what you think of the island. Leave a like, and I will see you in the next one. Catch you later.